Hi there, this is Rob from Wondervision and welcome to my brand new tutorial on how to create an original disco filtered loop for house productions. Now then, what we're going to create is a loop using certain sounds with free VST plugins from the internet and some loops that I've provided, such as the beats and the brass and a guitar. Basically, I've created a small loop in two chords, just D minor and A minor, and put all the sounds together. And then what we're going to do is we're going to combine all of them together and record them as an audio loop, and then we can put them back into Ableton and mess about with the auto filters and then stick a house beat on top to create a classic filtered house record basically. Now the loop that I've created is this. It's just a very straightforward disco loop using all the elements of traditional orchestral disco. So we've got a brass in there, we've got a high string, got a Rhodes, a bass, percussion, and a whacker wah-wah guitar. Okay, now if I go through the track individually, I'm going to show you how I've done it. Basically, I've got two brass samples. Now I've taken these from the Symphonic Orchestra, the East-West package. And basically, if you haven't got this, that's okay. I've provided the samples, the two loops for this in the audio pack that's available on my blog, and it's also available at the bottom of this YouTube page. So make sure you grab that file first before you do the tutorial. So the brass sample is this. The first one is, and then the second one is in A minor. Okay, they're just two little waves, and they were originally MIDI, and I've just recorded them to audio for the purposes of this. And then the next thing is a classic salsoul beat, which I've looped. And then we've got a Rhodes, which is built into the Ableton anyway, which is keys 4am. And I've stuck an auto filter on there, turned the LFO right up, and changed from hertz to the musical notation here, and I've rated it 1.4, and then just messed about with the filter settings here. And that way you get that wobbly warmth sound, which is just... So we've got that there, which is already built into Ableton, so you should have that. And then we've got a percussion loop, just straightforward. And then we've got a whacker whacker wah-wah guitar, which is a sample which I've cut up and put into key, so you don't have to mess about with that either. Obviously, if you can play guitar, then brilliant. Put some of your original stuff on top of it. And then we've got a high string, which is a free VST on the internet, which I recommend you get, and you can download that for free from dskmusic.com, and it's in there. It's called Overture, and just go to that link there and grab that. But basically, I've used this sound because it's free, and if no one's got access to the East-West Native Instruments package, then you can use this as an alternative. I originally used this string, which is from this again. It's got an amazing selection of sounds. But as I say, if you haven't got that, grab the free one. And then there's the Bassline. It's a very straightforward plucked bass thing, and that is called the virtual bass, and that looks like that. It's just a little plugin from Steinberg, and you can get that from here, from vstwarehouse.com, and it's just called Virtual Bass 1 VB1, and just download that direct from Steinberg. I originally was going to use my bass sound, which is off the Reason, which is obviously a much better genuine sounding bass than what we've got. But for the purposes of this, this is the only one I could find which was free, which does the job anyway. If you put the beat on top, sounds good anyway. So, as I say, grab those two VSTs if you haven't got the East-West one, and we'll go from there. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to insert the brass. Download the sample pack that you've got. We'll find it on here, which is here, look, in my desktop. And we'll get the D brass sample, and we'll put that over here onto a separate channel. Put that onto a channel. Okay, and then get the A brass sample and put that on another channel underneath, or you can put it on the same, I suppose. It makes no odds really. Put that up there. like that. So you can put those two together like that, and then get the beat loop and put that in like so. And then we'll loop that for now. And then get your Congo loop, put that in. And then get your guitar licks and put those in. Okay, and next what we're going to do is we're going to go to the Rhodes and get the 4 AM one, which is in the presets, in instruments, instrument rack, piano keys, classical electric pianos 4 AM, and then stick the auto filter on, turn your LFO up, take it from Hertz to the musical notation, rate 1/4, and then just set your filter frequency around there. And then we're going to record 2 chords in, and these 2 chords are D minor 7 and A minor 7. And we'll do it right now. The first is D minor 7, which is left hand on the D and your left thumb and your little finger on the D on the bottom end, and then on your right hand A, C, D, F. But when we get to the end of the chord, we're going to hit the G like that with your little finger. So, and then we're going to go down to the A minor 7, and that will go like this, which is with an A on the bottom, G, A, C and E. And back to the D minor 7. Okay, so let's record those in now. And there we go, straight in. And then we'll tidy it up, open it up, quantize everything, and make sure that all the values roll right over to the next chord. So if you can see on my screen here, let me open it up for you. There's your chord. Okay. Okay, so hopefully you've got that in now. Right, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to get the string up, which is the DSK Overture, and we'll open it up, and basically you just go to the bottom here, and then in the selection just choose full strings. Okay, so go up an octave, go up to D5, and we're going to play this on top of the Rhodes. So what we're going to do is we're going to just have one single flat notes, and it will be the D down to the C, then the A, and then the G. Okay, I'll pop them on the screen in a moment when we time it up. So hit record. And that's it. That's simple. Open it up and then quantize the 4 notes, and you can see there they are, D, C, A and G, and extend them all to the end. Okay, and the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add the bass line, which is the virtual bass thing, and all it is we go down to the lower octaves and we just hit D1 and D2 and then the A. There's a bit of a click in that because it's a free VST and it's not the best, but it does the job for the purposes of this tutorial. As I say, if you've got Reason or any other sort of more high-end package, then I recommend you use those. Okay, so we'll record the bass line in. Simple, double click, and then there we go. And what we've got is we've got shorter values on the top notes as we have to the bottom, so it's got that plucking sort of sound. And we'll solo that. There you go. And there's your loop. That's the loop. That's everything in there. So we've got the brass, the beat, the Rhodes, the Congo loop, the guitars, the strings, and the bass line. Now then, let's just check all that. Okay, so now that we've got everything in place, what we need to do is record the whole loop over into Audacity or into any other audio recorder that you may have. So go to Audacity, hit record, and start the loop. And there we are. And save that, export, just disco loop. And then go back to Ableton and find the loop on your desktop, wherever that may be. And mine's there, solo it. Oops, it's too fast, so double click on it, take warp off and put warp back on. Because I've got a little bit of a thing here, look, I need to just shorten that, pull that in. Loop that, solo, just turn it up a little bit. And there you go. Okay, and there's your loop. Right, what we're going to do next is I'm going to my effects and get an auto filter and then just start messing about with it, and this is where you start to build the track and turn it into a house record. So and then find a beat that goes well with it. Just find some beats. Give me a house beat, so you go for this. And there you go. That's it. You've created a disco loop using original sounds, and take it over to audio and then reinstall it into Ableton and stick a beat on it and start rebuilding it again. One good thing that you could do if you've got the Z3TA, which I'm always going on about in my other tutorials, is the Fred Falk. And then play it on top. Just whatever you want to do with that, really. And then start building your track around that, and then you stick a vocal on and whatever, you know, whatever takes your fancy, really. So there you go. I hope that you've taken something from that. Any questions or problems, give me an email and I will gladly get back to you. So just before I go, let's just do a recap on what we've got here. Things that you need. So get the DSK overture if you haven't got a decent strings package or a strings package at all. And then get the free bass sample as well from VST Warehouse and the strings from dskmusic.com. They're both free, don't cost you anything. Audacity is also free if you haven't got that. There you go, that's it. A disco loop created for free. So there it is. Thank you very much for watching, and speak to you soon. Bye.